Welcome to the Investor Agent Podcast. I'm Steve Seymour, your host, where we help transform the human mindset from scarcity and lack to abundance and wealth, one conversation at a time. Hey guys, Steve Seymour here with the Investor Agents Podcast. I'm here today with Alex Martyn. Alex, thanks for being on today.
No problem, Steve. Glad to be here.
So Alex, I like to typically dive into what got someone interested in real estate. Why would you take on being a landlord?
Yeah. So initially I didn't know like what type of real estate like I wanted to do. So I don't have one of those like interesting like beginning stories. Pretty much it's normal, like the Rich Dad Poor Dad, read that. That was the first book I read. Actually, my college roommate, who's now my partner, he was like, "Hey man, you gotta read this book." Because we both talked like, our senior year of college, and we were just like, yeah, man, we don't want to work for anyone. Like, we want to start our own thing. Like, always just wanted to be a business owner. Whatever, how that looked like, didn't know it was going to look like real estate. Didn't know if it was going to be, a different business. Just wanted to be a business owner. So I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That just obviously sparked a bunch of things in my head. And I was like, wow, man, like, yep, had no idea that was, liabilities work that way, assets work that way, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, I just read like 10 other books. Yeah.
So dive into that real quick, because you're like assets work this way, liabilities work this way. Just pinpoint a few things that you took away from that book.
Yeah. So basically the things that are important in that book is obviously you need to define exactly what a liability is in your life. Like, you need to make sure that, you're not looking at something in a way where it's actually like costing you money, but you think like it's not costing you money. Like, it's just really like a mental shift. And like, obviously the big one in the book is like, your personal residence. Like, people think that's like an asset because like, oh, like I got this equity in it, but it's taking money out of your pocket each month. So it's legit a liability. So you need to make sure that like the things that are taking money out of your pocket each month, cars, credit cards, your house that you live in, those are liabilities. And just, you really just try to minimize those as much as possible in the beginning. So like you can start to gain, assets that put money into your pocket each month, whether those are stock dividends, real estate, stuff like that. So
yep.
That's the biggest thing that book did, is just basically like define those attributes, like, for me. So like I could be like, okay, like, what are the assets that I'm interested in?
Funny how they don't really teach that in school. I mean, I know like you go into finance, they do to a degree, but they don't break it down in the way that you think like, oh, monthly, right, I have these checks going out and I have these checks coming in.
That's a whole nother conversation, right? The schooling system. Yeah. We're not going to go off that tangent, but they don't teach that in school.
So you read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yep. Sparked some interest, kind of just got immersed in the information aspect.
And I didn't even dive into real estate like in the beginning, like after I read that book. Like again, I read other books, about, stocks, stock trading, finance in general, business ownership, mindset. So I actually started like, like currency trading and like penny stock trading, like initially, okay. And all that stuff. And then like, after, and I made like a little bit of money, like nothing crazy, because I didn't have a lot of money at that time. But after, I was like, dude, there is no way I could stare at a computer screen for like 8 hours a day. And I didn't know, like, and then obviously I know you could put like, ceilings and floors and stuff, but like just staring at charts and everything, and just I was just like not about it. Yeah. I'm not like a very technical person. Like,
so what shifted it to real estate?
So what book was it? The Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller.
Nice.
Yep. So that was kind of like what initiated me to be like, all right, like this real estate thing sounds like really interesting. And then we started going to meetups. This is after college now. Went to like a Rich Dad Poor Dad, seminar, went to, local, like, Philadelphia meetups and stuff like that. Started just meeting people and and then just kind of went from there. And then after, so like I had an initial job out of college, financial advisor at this firm. And then after 8 months, I'm just like, what, like I got like no expenses, I got, like a little car payment and like, health insurance. And it's like, let's just try this thing and just see what happens.
Good thing you did.
So yeah, my parents were not well, they were just very skeptical. They were just like, as any parent would be.
How do they feel about it now?
It's just I don't even ask them about it. Like I'm gonna ask them.
But if you had to guess, would you be like, do you think I made the right move?
Yeah, they're very proud of me, and I know that I am. And they were, even though that they were skeptical about it, they're very supportive.
Yeah,
like I mean, I can't thank them the world enough for that, because
that's great.
You know, that helped me definitely, you know, get to where I am today.
So I like to pinpoint what made you take action, because this is the biggest thing. Most people just they read the information, they read the books, they get interested, and then I heard you say you started going to meetups. Mm-hmm. Was that part of the, you know, the confidence that gave you action? Or
I'll tell you,
what really was it?
The one specific book was The Millionaire Fast Lane. I can't remember the author's name right now, but that book definitely made me, like, he literally had a specific exercise in that book that you do that like pretty much made the decision in your head of like if you should like basically quit your job or not. And I literally did that exerciise. And like, you know,
you're probably like, damn it, why'd I do this exercise? Now I gotta.
Exactly. So like, you know, I did the exercise, wrote it on the piece of paper, made the chart, you know, etc. And
so you had the balls to quit your job before you even had some properties.
Exactly.
You just
I didn't have anything.
You cut the cord. You burned the bridges, so to speak. And
I was single. You know, I had a little bit of savings. I was living at home.
Good for you for taking that leap.
Yeah. So.
And then what did you do? You just get out there. What was kind of like your first deals? Like, how did you get into that?
Okay. You want to hear about my first deal?
Yeah.
All right. So my first deal was I met this gentleman at a Philadelphia meetup, investor meetup. He won the most profitable flip award in like the members of that meetup.
Got it.
So I was like, oh, well, this guy must know what he's talking, what he's doing. So basically, I asked him, take him out to dinner, like, just like, connect, introduce myself, all that stuff. So he agreed. He lives up in like North Wales, so like I went up there and like we went to a restaurant up there. And then I guess, I impressed him a little bit, enough to, kind of, he was like, hey, look, I need some help like on like the administrative type stuff, for like my business, my flipping business and stuff like that. I'll give you a little bit, like a little bit monthly nut, like a week to like cover your expenses, and we can start collaborating and get you into real estate. Basically, I was like done, like great,
perfect.
And so that was my first kind of like step into like a mentor, basically. And, the goal was to obviously get a flip, do a flip with them, stuff like that. So we found this flip in Ambler. It was, foreclosure, auction. He said, hey, like, this is like our maximum allowable offer, let's go up to there. So like, we're bidding on it. And, we got it for, I think it was like, like $1,500, like $2,000, like over our maximum allowable offer. And the one thing I did learn from him was he's like, don't lose a deal over a couple grand.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I did learn from him.
It's a big thing. Especially for a rental.
Because like everyone in the books and everyone like on the podcast is like, have your maximum allowable offer.
Yeah, have your buy box.
Don't go.
You're right.
Do not go over that. But you also got to think of the long term. It's like, hey, like, is that $2,000 really going to like make or break the deal?
Well, especially on a rental that you're going to keep for 20 years.
Exactly. It's like you're going to bite yourself, you know, in 20 years if you didn't buy that property. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because it's going to appreciate. It's going to, obviously you're going to have the equity into it. The rents are going to go up, over time. So
don't be cheap.
Don't be cheap, guys. All right. Yeah.
Get in the game.
All right. I just helped my one friend buy a duplex, and he's a little wary about the cost. I'm just like, don't lose it over this $5,000, man. I mean, it's your first one. You're not going to look to make a ton of money off it, but it's going to get you in the game, and you're going to learn a ton from the deal, and then you're going to be able to get your next one.
What kind of education do you get for $2,000? Not much.
Not much. So, but long story short, that flip did not end well.
Okay.
So I borrowed some money from my parents. I brought my college roommate, who was like my partner-esque at that time, like into the deal. So he invested some of his money and my money, and all gone. And just basically what happened was I was a little naive about like, my mentor and everything. He was actually not in a good place at the time. He had a bunch of other like projects going on that like he was more focused on. And like, I'm a beginner. I had no idea how to manage a flip. Like, I was like, and I lived in media. So like, it was like a 50-minute drive. I'm driving up there every day, like trying to like manage these like subcontractors. No idea what I'm doing. So it just like that whole blew up. We had to borrow like more hard money on the deal, and like it was just like a nightmare.
So no profit, and just everything got
lost
eaten
my
up,
money,
lost your money,
my partner's money, and my parents' money. Oh man,
well I appreciate you sharing that because this is the thing where guess what? Are you glad you did that deal?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you took action. You learned from it.
Exactly.
I mean,
this is so key.
Yeah.
It's hard to say it, right?
Yeah,
because in the moment in the time, you were not feeling
brutal.
like you were like, this is the worst idea. I should have never done this.
Yep. And you could easily have quit there. I could have easily quit there. And I did go get another job after that. I went to go get another job because now I have no money.
Yeah,
it's literally $0 freaking dollars. So like I still had some expenses I had to pay. So I got another job for a little time, after that. But I still told myself, I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. Like, I know I can figure it out. So that's the biggest thing. Is just like you just need to. I mean, me personally, you need to have grit. Like you just need to have grit in this business. Yeah, like you need to just have that mentality of just like I'm gonna figure it out. Shit's gonna happen, and just kind of like buckle down.
Yeah,
I mean. That's the biggest thing, and that's not the only failure I've had too. Like I've had failures along the way, just of like whatever contractors like, stealing money from me, this, that.
It's part of it. You learn, you get better, you learn from your mistakes and keep rolling.
Exactly. But that's, I think, the biggest thing of like why people either stop or don't go into initially is that mindset. And just like, they think they need to like know everything like before, they start.
Yeah.
And you're just not going to. You just need to dive in and just do it.
Right.
And
now fast forward to today. Thank God you had the grit and you stuck into it because share a little bit about what you're into now. What does your portfolio look like? Where are you heading?
Yep. So I have a portfolio with a partner, and I own some myself. So, basically we have about 40 units out in like Coatesville and Chester County that we manage. And we have like 5 other units kind of like scattered, like some in Delco and some in Delaware, because that's like where he lives. And then we have an Airbnb in Florida that we bought last year.
It's a nice little portfolio.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
29.
29. So 30 years old.
Yeah.
You got approximately say 45 different assets they're paying you every month.
Yep. So it's good
and you've managed to limit those liabilities and has that passive income exceeded your active expenses. Yep. So that's
technically,
that's the game.
Technically I'm financial free right now. I mean, like is the residual income from the rentals completely passive? No. But at the same time, I'm here today, what is it, Thursday?
Yeah.
At 11:30, shooting a podcast with Steve.
Because you want to, and
because I can, and I have the time too.
Yeah,
I have the time because I built that portfolio up. That basically
it gives you some freedom.
I mean, later today,
so you're in that millionaire fast lane, in my opinion. Now,
yeah,
and it gives you some freedom to make some bigger swings.
Yep.
Take down some bigger deals.
Yep, because that's like my monthly nut that I have. I know like that portfolio is gonna spit out at least enough like for more than I need for expenses.
Yeah. It's such a great spot to get to.
Yeah.
And, so why don't you talk about a little bit about where you're going with this? What are your next steps?
Mm-hmm. So we've built a pretty good team out in Coatesville. We have a property manager out there, that is doing a good job. We have, a couple contracting crews that, do great jobs for us. So our bread and butter is Coatesville to buy, whether it's single family, multifamily, all that good stuff. What we're looking to do right now, and we're just solely focused on Coatesville, where we try to be, hyper focused in our area, because that just whenever we buy a property not in Coatesville, it just takes up a lot of our time because we don't have our team out there in those other locations. So what we're trying to do right now is just do less deals at higher price points. And then basically, we will try to just JV with people that, have those bigger buildings, and then just try to work with the city and just say like, hey, like, what do you guys want to see, here, like what makes sense for us, and try to make like a win-win situation.
Yeah. So like really getting involved in the community.
Yeah. Getting way more involved in the community. So like we're looking at a deal right now. It's like an older school in Coatesville. Looking, we know the city wants multifamily market rate rent, apartments. So we're looking to possibly convert that into, market rate apartments, and then, a daycare on the bottom. So
it's awesome.
So yeah, that's what we're looking to do this year is just, get into, bigger assets, make more of a difference, in the city of Coatesville and, and then go from there. And possibly, if the Airbnb in Florida does good as well, we have a good team down there that manages it. And then if that goes well, we,
continue to buy them. Nice. Too. So, what would you say, when you talk about grit, how do you know if you have grit?
You got to test yourself. Yeah. You got to put yourselves in those situations. I mean, basically you got to just kind of sit back and see hey, do I really have what it takes, to go through a hardship like that? I bet you if I went to a bunch of my friends, hey, tell them my first flip story, what would you have done after that?
Most of them be
most of them being
why would I do that?
I would have run for the hills.
Yeah. That's here, taste this ice cream. It's terrible. Yeah. It's the worst ice cream I've ever had.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
who the hell would? What sane human being actually would though? Right. But it's if you're passionate about it and you're just you have just the no give up mentality. I'm not going to give up. Yeah. Just regardless.
Did you have a vision for the bigger picture to keep you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just when I got a taste of meeting people that had kind of the finer things in life or had that freedom, I'm just dude, if this guy can do it, there is no freaking reason why I can't. There is no reason why I can't have that, better lifestyle or that freedom, to be able to, do what I want, on certain days and, take time out for myself and my family and, not have to, ask someone if I need to go on vacation or whatever, just all those scenarios. It's just when I got a taste of that and I saw people actually had that life, I was done. There's no way I need to have that.
Yeah.
I need to have that type of.
Would you say that surrounding yourself with the right people helped to keep that vision alive?
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
That I would say my biggest attribute is just developing relationships in my opinion to myself. I think that's the biggest thing in this business is relationships. I mean, just going off that Coatesville deal that we're looking at, that would have never came across my desk if I didn't develop that relationship with, pretty much my mentor out in Coatesville that owns 300 whatever units. So, I mean, I've correlated that relationship over the last 5 years. So, I mean, he's seen me grow, into what we're doing now. And now he's all right, let's actually collaborate and
So is this as simple as finding someone that's doing that you wanted what you want to do?
It's literally finding someone who do I exactly want to become?
Yeah.
And he's pretty much the epiphany, literally the epiphany of who do you want to become and who's doing it? And just take that person out. I mean, most of those people are more genuine than you think that are going to, take the time to, go to breakfast or go to lunch with you and just have a conversation. They want to give their time back. They want to, see, someone succeed, but you also got to have you got to provide value too to them. So what we're providing value to him is he has his projects that are massive projects going on out there, and he doesn't have the time. The things that come across his desk, he's I just don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
I don't have the mental capacity to do this, but I know it's a good deal.
Right.
So why don't we just, make something happen that works for both of us and take it down? So that's the value that we're bringing. We can invest the time equity now.
So you didn't come to him with how can you help me? You kind of came, how can I help you? How can I learn from you? What can I do to help you?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, in the beginning, he when we bought our first rental out there, he toured it with me. I mean, this guy,
yeah,
he's a very genuine guy. I can't thank him enough. Shout out Crosby if you watch this. Yeah, he helped me, in the beginning just to walk through the first rental property and everything. But yeah, later on, when I started to buy more properties out there, and I obviously kept seeing the projects he was doing, I was just kept in contact. Let me know if you need help with anything. Let me know.
Yeah.
And I did a little bit.
It's a big thing just to be genuine and just be grateful when someone does share their time, right? Because
100%.
What someone's like him, what's his time worth? It's his dollar per hour is so high.
Yeah.
And he's doing it because he's just, wants to give back. He's trying to help other people. Not everyone's a crab in a bucket.
Yeah.
There are people that are looking to lift people up.
I really do think real estate's a team sport. I mean, it really is. It's, if you try to do everything yourself, like you're just going to bury yourself in a hole, honestly, in my opinion. Because I tried to do that, kind of just like throughout the years. And I just think like it was just, I couldn't even imagine like even not having my partner, like having that whole portfolio like myself, like, cause he does a lot of like the back end stuff, like accounting and like, bookkeeping and stuff like that. It's like, dude, if I had to do like all that stuff, I was like, dude, I wouldn't be able to be here. I'd be like, like engulfed in like my, bills and like, all that stuff and like the management and, having a property manager, I'll be self-managing the whole thing. And probably at the end of the day, it wouldn't even put any more money in my pocket.
Right.
So it's just like really just finding those valuable people that are gonna, basically like make your life easier, but like also you're helping them out too.
So, I got a lot out of this today. I appreciate you sharing all this.
Yeah.
Just to kind of recap a few things that I heard in here I heard 3 books that were really instrumental, which was Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
The Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Yeah, investor.
If
you want to be an investor,
I'm sorry.
The Millionaire Real Estate Agent is very good too. If you want to become as an agent.
And then Millionaire Fastlane.
Yeah, the Millionaire Fastlane.
So 3 great books.
Yep.
And then I heard get involved in a meetup.
Yeah.
Because how do you find a mentor, right?
Exactly.
And then once you identify someone who's doing what you want to do, then make an initiative to get to know this person and build a relationship with them, a genuine relationship where you can help them, they can help you, a win-win. Any other tips or tricks that you think was important? I don't even want to say tricks because, more so principles, truths that you've learned through this business to help anyone that's listening out there, to get started and then also to continue with that grit.
For sure. Yeah. So going back on like, relationships and stuff like that. Yeah. Just having like a circle of people, like, and they don't even like have to be like in your industry, just like, friends in general that like have like the same mindset as you and like, are like, obviously like positive people. Like that's what helped me, through, whatever times I was going at, like, that flip, whenever the, contractor stole money from me or, et cetera. I had a great circle of people that I could go to that would keep me in the game, like, and like get me out from like the hole that like I dug myself, and be like, okay, like it's a bump in the road.
Yeah, this is a painful business if you try to do it alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So like that circle is huge. And, I'm so thankful for my circle that like, I've been blessed, the circle that I've been able to create for myself, because without them, there would be a lot more bad days than good days, I would think.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge. Obviously you've heard your network is your net worth. Like it's true. Like just, the power of just being around those people are just going to emulate you to like, become, who they are and their positivity. And just, it's just going to help you like, throughout the journey basically. So that's huge.
A lot of wisdom for 29.
Oh, thanks. No.
And I'll have to.
I'm still learning every day, man.
We all are, but the key is what I heard too in there that I want to highlight is that, you're grateful to be in this circle. Mm-hmm. So if you were, just imagine if you had a circle of friends and someone wanted to come in, right? Would you want someone that's grateful to be a part of that, or would you want someone that just wants to take?
No, exactly.
And like. So just think about the mindset shift. It's like, if you get an opportunity, experience that gratitude because people can sense that and express it, right? When someone helps you with things, like be grateful for these opportunities. My mentors have changed my life. Same 100%. Story as yours. My story is almost identical, different people, different things, different assets, right? Yep. But still, rich dad, poor dad mindset, taking action, search for knowledge, surround myself in a group of people, finding mentors, and then having, a tight knit circle around me for when times get tough, right? To pull me up.
Absolutely. So, and on the other end too, is that, with your circle, it's like sometimes you gotta, move away from some circles.
It's true.
That were in your past. So like, for me, like I don't hang out with some people that were in my past not because that they're bad people.
No.
It's
just
like
focused on different things.
They're just focused on different things and they just have a different mindset. So it's just like, I have to limit my time that I'm going to spend with you. And then, I'm going to spend more time on the people that are, have the same mindset as me, want to go to the same direction as me.
Absolutely.
And then that's what's going to correlate more things that are going to happen for you in your life that you're trying to, move towards, whatever that vision is for you, whatever that perfect day looks like, 5-10 years from now, like, what do you want that day to look like? Hang out with those people that are moving towards that, type of lifestyle. So that's all I can say.
I appreciate you coming on today and sharing all that.
No
and
problem.
I hope you guys as listeners found some value in it, and more importantly, take action from something of this podcast, whether it be get a book, whether it be join a meetup, whether it be evaluate your circle, who you're around, search for a mentor. Alex, who could potentially work with you in some capacity? Who could help you out in terms of, and then who can you help out in terms of, whether investing together, bringing deals to the table, money, because there's money management, deals,
exactly.
construction.
Yeah. We're always looking for deals. So obviously if you have any good Coatesville deals, send them my way.
You guys close quickly for cash, make it easy as possible.
Yeah. Money's not a huge issue at this point for us. We have a pretty good, private lending network. So, for us, it's, deal flow, is always. And
you don't mind if an agent gets a commission, right?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I have a
wholesaler,
couple agents in Coatesville that just send me, pocket listings. So
right.
It's like,
or if a wholesaler has, a big
I'll pay you
fee
as much.
on there, you don't care.
I'll pay you as much, as long as it makes sense on my end.
As long as it pencils out.
Yeah. So definitely that. But, for me, I'm more than happy to help anyone out that's looking to learn. I just, you just got to show me that, you're ready to take action and, you have the willingness and, grit to do it. If you got those things, then, I can help you out.
Cool.
So
how can people reach out to you?
Honestly, just my phone number. I don't have any social media presence really yet. I've been trying for years, but it's just not my personality.
All right.
610-585-8027. Please don't call, just text. If you call me, I won't answer. You can leave me a voicemail and I'll give you a call back, but I won't answer the initial phone call. So text 610-585-8027.
All right. Thanks again, Alex.
Right.
Appreciate it.
No, thank you, Steve. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for tuning in to the Investor Agent Podcast today. We hope you found it valuable. Please tune in weekly at theinvestoragents.com.